Morning, Alan and Gabby. How you doing?
Good. Just let's start with the back page. Son, Jim, nice but grim, or nice but grim. This is all you want to read, Mark, isn't it? If United should make Champions League and Nice are up there still, there's going to be problems. It's just non-stop.
Yeah, I think. Well, you've hit the nail on the head. We've got to qualify for it, Europe first. I think
Yeah.
that's that's going to be the first thing. But I think this whole. I'm really disappointed that the sales not well, the partial sales not been announced over the international break because everybody's got nothing to talk about. So it would have been nice to get the detail in relation to that. We're probably going to get it next week now. So we don't really know how this deal's going to work. It's 25%. The Glazers are probably still in charge. Does that impact the rules on whether we can be in Europe or not? I don't know. So I'm not that concerned at the moment because I just don't think anybody knows. I'm not optimistic about this sale because I don't really know the detail of it yet, to be honest.
Yeah. What about are you worried about Goodison? Everton have now been hammered. They've had the penalty, the points deduction. There could be more to come for, I don't know, Chelsea, maybe for City. But Everton have been hit with it. Is it beware of the wounded animal? Does this make this game for Manchester United going to Everton tougher?
100%. We've got Everton away, Galatasaray away, Newcastle away in 6 days. And there was pressure, quite rightly, on Ten Hag a few weeks ago. And I think with Liverpool away and Chelsea at home coming up as well, we've got to get good results. But you're right, Everton, you don't want to be playing somebody who's seeking justice. And that Goodison's going to be absolutely rocking on Sunday. It's going to be really difficult.
Mark, you've been very critical of Harry Maguire recently. Do you want to offer an apology to Harry Maguire? And are you pleased with his form at the moment?
I'd like to know when I've been negative in relation to Harry Maguire recently, because I think if you watch the United stand, which I'm sure you don't, Gabby, he's been getting very good ratings and man of the match for the last few weeks. I think over the last 2 years, it's fair to say he's been criticised, quite rightly so. And in the summer, the manager wanted to sell him, but I think it's an example of actually not speaking in the media, and this is what Man United fans want. We want our players to speak on the pitch. We're missing our three best centre backs. You've got Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire at the back. Many would say that's an accident waiting to happen. We've had clean sheets. We've not played well, but we've had clean sheets. We've got results. And I think United players just need to do their talking on the pitch, and United fans will back them. I don't want to speak about Harry Maguire's back or anything like that, because I've just spoken about three very difficult games. And I think that's the danger when you start saying a player's back and this, that, and the other. But he's playing well at the moment. I know he made a bit of a mistake for England, but I'm not really bothered about England. It's about Manchester United. And there's a few players that have stepped up that have been criticised. We need a few more. We need people like Anthony, Rashford, Bruno. We need those players to step up as well, because we're not playing well, but we're grinding results. It's almost survival football at the moment.
I'm glad you said Bruno there, because he has been disappointing in the big games. This story coming out about United players, some of the senior players, Mark, that they're overtired, they've done too much in pre-season. Can you go with that, or is that just trying to pass the blame on?
Well, I'd have to probably bow down to you and Gabby on this, because having not played the game at the highest level, I don't. My understanding is when I used to play, we used to get put in the boxing gym and everything for fitness. That's what pre-season was all about. So the way I read that was that they felt they'd had a bit of a hard pre-season, but I'm like, is that not the point of pre-season, to get the fitness in you? I think the problem is they played so much football last year because of the World Cup. The FA Cup final was at the start of June. Then there was international games. So if you are a Harry Maguire or a Marcus Rashford or a Bruno Fernandes, you've probably got a week and a half, 2 weeks before you're back for pre-season. Then you've got to go really hard again. But it's true, we started the season with, there was no energy against Wolves. They should have beat us at Old Trafford. And I don't know what a manager's meant to do, because surely pre-season is about hard work. But I think the impact of last season with the same set of players, they do look really tired.
Saying that, Ten Hag, he comes with credentials, doesn't he? Okay, in Holland, but you'd think he'd know how to get players fit and not overdo it in pre-season. Cricket, I go back Mipsy's days, we used to go to Holland, and Bobby was intrigued how Feyenoord, Ajax, and how they trained in the forests in Holland. So it's an interesting one. Do you think, Mark, Ten Hag, do you think, you mentioned the next three games, is Chelsea someone after that as well? And, is his job, is he on thin ice here if the next 3-4 go wrong?
Well, you have to be. I mean, I I want Ten Hag to stay. I think you keep him till the end of the season, because if he goes, it's probably Steve McLaren and Darren Fletcher, because Manchester United, when they got rid of Ollie and Mourinho, they don't have people lined up. So all these, and there are some United fans who would like him to go. Who are you going to bring in? We haven't got money to get De Zerbi or anyone like that. So with Sir Jim coming in and the change on the Football Focus, I would just go to the end of the season. Having said that, you can, if they lost their next 3 or 4 and they get beaten badly by Liverpool at Anfield, it's Manchester United. It's the same at any big club. The pressure is right. And he could be sacked by the new year, but I hope that doesn't happen. But the results have to improve against better opposition, because beating Luton and Fulham 1-0, with all due respect, these games are going to get a lot tougher.
Yeah.
What seems to be the problem with feeding Hojlund? Because Champions League, he scores goals, and then Premier League, he's not getting them, but he's got all the attributes for me. Quick, can hold the ball up, makes good runs. I think you're just not getting the ball into the box quick enough for him.
Yeah, well, look, you mentioned like Maguire and Evans and people like that. I think that makes us. I think we've transitioned into this pressure survival football. Let's keep a clean sheet. Let's protect that and try and get a goal. So I think that naturally makes us play a little bit deeper. But to be honest, any Man United fan would say over the last 2 or 3 years, we're very bad against the low block, which means we're very bad in possession, which means we're very transitional and quick. And then with people like Rashford not performing, Anthony not performing, Bruno's been a bit hit and miss. They're the 3 players that surround the striker. So if you're a striker and you're not getting service, when he gets service, and funnily enough in the Champions League, like you say, he's the top scorer. But in the Premier League, he has missed 1 or 2, to be honest, but the chances are really few and far between. I think if you put Hojlund up front for Villa or Man City, he'd score goals, because there's service there, definitely.
Mark, finally, talking about City, who does the red half of Manchester or United fans all over the country, who do they want to win on Saturday, City against Liverpool?
Fortunately, you're not putting me on the spot, Alan, here. I've thought this through. I think it's just Man City not winning is what I want, because if you look at that, I mean, Man United aren't in this, but if you look at the Spurs, the Villas, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, we want a title race as long as Man City don't win. So probably a draw, really. I think that's the ideal result.
So you wouldn't want Liverpool to win?
I would take it over a City win, just because I don't want City to. I still think City will win the league, even if Liverpool win. I just want, from a Premier League point of view, we want a Premier League title race, and I think anything but a City win really on the weekend.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.